How is everybody doing today? And in this video, we are going to be talking about one of the most legendary and popular characters in Zenless Zone Zero, debuting in CBT 1 and went MIA up until 1.4. That is going to be Miyabi. We are so excited that she is finally here, and we're of course going to be talking about not only her kit, how to play her, how to use her, all the different type of stuff when it comes to her gear, teams, everything else you could possibly think of in this video. But before we get into the rest of this video, I do want to say that this is going to be from the content creator experience server, so everything you see here may or may not change depending on live release. But let's go ahead and start talking about Miyabi, and of course her brand new element, which is Frost. Now Frost is going to be its own element, but still goes under the ice category for all intents and purposes. Frost has its own anomaly gauge and triggers freeze and shatter just like ice, and can even react with the ice element as well for disorders. So basically for Frost, it is kind of like in a subsection for ice, but is not considered as ice. The damage that you get with Miyabi will be ice damage related, so things like, let's say, Lycan's team passive, where he's able to give a stun damage multiplier if you are with the ice character, that still works. You also have the same benefit with Lighter, with him being able to give an ice damage boost and also an ice damage res towards the enemy decrease. That is also going to work towards Miyabi. So anything ice related still works with Miyabi. It's just for the anomaly purposes, it has its own gauge and can even react with ice, which is a really cool thing overall. This opens up a lot of paths in the future when it comes to what potential characters we might get that are under subsections of other elements. So I am very excited to see this in other characters' kits. But let's go ahead and start talking about Miyabi's kit. Miyabi's basic attack is going to be a 5-hit string, with the final hit being able to block hits. That is absolutely insane. The first 2 hits will be physical and the next 3 will be frost damage. Whenever you do frost damage, this adds on frostburn to the enemy, and frostburn when applied gives 15% more anomaly buildup to enemies under that status. That is going to be pretty big, especially when it comes to her future portions of her kit that we are going to be talking about. So this allows characters like, let's say, Yanagi, this lets characters like Bernice being able to proc their anomaly reactions a lot faster and get those disorders off, which are going to be very important as we talk about her kit. Going on to the next portion of her basic attack, she does have a hold feature that has a charge mechanic dealing with her fallen frost stacks ranging from level 1, 2, and 3. Level 1 is going to be considered with 2 points of fallen frost, level 2 is going to be 4 points of fallen frost, and level 3 is the full 6 points of fallen frost. And also note, while you are holding this attack, you will be fully invulnerable while you are charging. These animations can definitely get a bit long, so swamp canceling is definitely the play with the level 3, and we will be talking about that very soon. We also will be going over her stat gain after we talk about her kit, because a lot of her kit is considered when it comes to building up your stacks. Her next thing is going to be her skill, which is going to be a dash forward with a follow-up for extra energy. Her skill also has the feature of allowing you to skip to her basic attack 3, which brings you immediately into her frost damage, which basic attack 1 and 2 are physical damage as stated before, and her ultimate not only does damage, but also buffs her ice damage by 30% for 12 seconds. Miyabi is absolutely disgusting when it comes to all the things that are in her kit and how good it looks as well. Now, of course, let's get into how we get these fallen frost stacks. That way you're able to charge up your hold attack, which does absolutely mass damage, and what you are going to be working for Miyabi for the most of her portion of her gameplay. The way you get her stacks are going to be as followed. When starting the battle, you are going to be getting 3. When you trigger the frostbite break reaction, you will get 1 stack every 10 seconds. Whenever you use your skill, you will be getting 2, and if you do the follow-up for extra energy, you are getting another 2, which can total up to 4. Your ultimate gives you 3 stacks, and any disorder when you have the team passive unlocked will be able to give you 2 every disorder, which gets absolutely insane. We will talk about that in a quick moment, but let's go ahead and start talking about the nuanced parts of her kit. She is going to be an attack scaling crit anomaly character, which is going to be quite a change from some of the normal characters that we had before, like Yanagi and also like Jane and Bernice. So we do have to talk about what you are going to have to build on her, and also what is in her main passive that you want to look out for. She is going to require at least 80% crit rate in order to max out her frost anomaly buildup rate, which scales off of her crit rate up to a max of 80. So if you want to max up the max amount of buildup rate, you do need to have 80% crit rate, which can be a lot. There are going to be some sources of the of crit rate that you're all able to get from your W engines and also your disc drives, so it won't be as daunting, but we'll talk about that later. She is also going to be scaling off of attack for her frostbite break reaction, so this is also going to change up how you're getting the damage off with Miyabi. This is a really unique case when it comes to how she's being built, so you do want to remember you want as much crit rate as possible and as much attack as possible for Miyabi. Her team passive wants a support or a same faction, so these restrictions actually play into a handful of teams we will get into very soon. The team passive allows for the disorders to give Fallen Frost stacks plus a 30% ice res decrease during her next hold basic attack, which can be absolutely massive, especially if you're playing with certain teams. Going into her gear, she of course needs the new branch of Blade and Song, and my personal pick due to stats, which could be changed depending on how insane your substats are, could be something like Woodpecker Electro to help you with that crit rate that you need to build up her anomaly rate, or you could possibly use an attack percent 2-piece, that way you can make the frost reactions hit even harder. This does depend on your substats on a lot of your disc drives, so we will have to wait and see how that's going to work out when it comes to what's the better disc drive set. Of course, she wants the crit rate or crit damage depending on your external gear like substats or W engine, but most likely she's going to want the crit rate to help with that anomaly buildup. Not only that, she also wants ice damage bonus, because remember, frost counts as ice as well, and the attack percentage that way we're able to work with her scalings off of her frost reactions that will end up doing more damage. Her W engine, of course, as her signature, would be her best in slot, giving a whopping 24% crit rate as his main stat. Not only that, you're also getting 50% crit damage in his passive, with the attribute anomaly reactions allowing the equipper's ice damage to be increased up to 40%. Her W engine, without a doubt, is easily her best in slot by a mile. Other W engines that could be used, which will be a better alternative, although not to the degree of stats that Miyabi's gives, is Roaring Ride for the attack percent increase. That way you're able to, of course, make your frost reactions hit harder, and the various amount of stats that you might get from its passive. Or possibly this event W engine we see here in the stream may be a better alternative to the signature W engine. There's not many alternatives due to the crit heavy nature of Miyabi's kit for a crit based anomaly character, which is really a first of its kind, so we have to wait and see how that works out. But going on to the teams, since her team passive is very important to her stat gain, we have to follow faction or support. This opens up to one of her best teams, which is one core being Miyabi and Yanagi, with the pairing of either Seth or Caesar. Seth is by far one of my favorite characters when it comes to pairing them up with Yanagi and Miyabi, because not only are you getting that massive amount of the shield that you're getting, the sustained wise for Seth, but you're also getting an anomaly buildup rate increase for Seth from his passive, and not only that, you're also getting a anomaly proficiency boost as well, which is going to help out Seth, and also Miyabi and Yanagi do a lot more damage with their disorders and with their reactions. Caesar is also a great option as well, with that impenetrable shield and the damage boost that you will be getting from Caesar, and also having a pseudo stunner on the team, which would be really nice. Another core that you can run will be Miyabi and Lucy, which means guess what, Bernice is available due to Lucy being on the team because of the support restriction, and she is going to be given a massive attack boost, not only helping out Bernice with the attacks that she's doing, but also helping out Miyabi with her reactions as well, which can help out quite a bit. Miyabi, Nicole, and Ambi could be a super budget team, but allows for Miyabi to benefit from Nicole's high anomaly buildup, which she basically does by herself, plus the defense drop with the added bonus of an extra stunner if you need be, with Miyabi and Ambi on the team. The way you play Miyabi is to get as many disorders as possible to spam her charge attack 3. So this means you usually, if the energy is available, going into Miyabi, skill in, and if you have the extra energy or you need more stacks, go ahead and use the follow-up. Use basic attacks to inflict Frostburn for the extra anomaly buildup rate, switch to someone like Yanagi or whoever the other anomaly character would be, disorder them to get the final amount of stacks, switch back into Miyabi, charge 3, switch mid animation, go back into the anomaly character, use skills, ult, whatever is needed to be able to gain a massive amount of disorder, and also gain enough to get another Miyabi charge 3. This should deal absolutely massive damage to the enemy, but this is the general game plan to get her charge skill as fast as possible. Of course, there will be moments where you need to parry and dodge. Just keep in mind when planning her stacks and when to max them out. Also keeping in check if the enemy has Frostburn on them. That way the team is able to disorder as fast as possible, and that should generally be the game plan. But realistically, that is Miyabi, and she is a super cool character and someone I'm super happy about. She's by far one of the most unique characters in Zenless Zone Zero, not only changing up the way anomalies work, but also being able to use and gain resources, stacks, all that different type of stuff from natural anomaly buildup or natural anomaly disorders that we are getting through her kit and also all the other characters in the game at the current moment. I am going to be having more showcases with different teams with Miyabi, and of course you can expect a harumasa video very soon as well. But other than that, that's probably going to be it for this video. See y'all guys in the next one, and peace.